Alright, welcome back to Conqueror and Commander, everybody. This is another game featuring my course, the Conclave deck. This is a game that I don't win, but it's a pretty interesting game, and there's some crazy stuff that kind of happens. So it's an interesting one, and I figured I'd show you guys. First up here, we've got the Angry Baby, Child of Alara. I thought, and I'm not 100% sure, but I thought that the child, in order to get the Destroy All effect, actually has to go to the graveyard, and in this game, it didn't work out like that. Basically, it went back to the command zone and still blew everything up. So I'm not 100% sure if that's a bug or that's my lack of rules knowledge. We've got Damia over here, usually control. Una can be like a fairy aggro type deck, or it can be infinite mill combo kind of thing. So we'll see how it goes. Each of these guys all have right now, I fear each of them equally at this point. My hand has 3 lands. It's not the best hand ever, but it does have Path to Exile that I can do early, and if I just draw another planes, I can use the Solitary Visionary. So I go ahead and keep it. Looks like Damia won the roll and starts off with Reliquary Tower, which means she doesn't have to worry about hand issues. I draw a Sword of Light and Shadow. It doesn't really come into play until the end of the game. Azure Mage is actually a pretty cool little card drawer. You know, if you ever just have extra mana lying around, you just pump it into the mage and draw some cards, and she can beat and carry equipment and stuff like that. So it's not a bad card. Damia plays Cultivate to ramp a little bit. I draw my second planes, but there's no enchantments out there, so I figure hold off on the Visionary. You'll see that the child player starts putting a ton of counters on Molten Slag Heap and doesn't really do much. Damia plays Jace's Ingenuity and is able to hold on to the cards due to Reliquary Tower. Una's not doing a whole lot either. I cycle Slippery Karst because it's always better in my graveyard in case I draw life from the loam. Academy Rector's out there to help me out with mana issues or for survival. We'll see what happens with it. Damia copies my Academy Rector. I'll go ahead and pause that real quick. This is actually Evil Twin. So at first I'm like, okay, well, you know, maybe he'll blow up my Rector or something like that. It seems unlikely, but you never know. I'm not 100% sure what enchantment she may search up. Could be anything. Fauna Shaman, however, is a more immediate threat in my eyes. So I'm probably going to Path to Exile it unless somebody does something about it. Propaganda, setting up defense, and does think twice to draw a card. So I'm going to sit back and do nothing and wait and see if Child does anything here. Nope, he's just pumping his stuff up and sitting behind his wall. So I'm going to go ahead and Path to Exile Fauna Shaman. And of course that helps Damia out a little bit with land, but you know, that's just one of the things that we got to do. But that kind of leads into Damia's big turn here. I'm a little bit mana screwed. I'm not very happy about it, but you know, whatever. When he plays Liliana of the Veil, and I'm like, okay, well, he's going to ramp again, right? Or, I'm sorry, this is Liliana of the Dark Realms. This is the first time I've actually played against it. But instead what he does is he uses the -3 ability to kill off the Rector. And players that have been playing a lot recently will know what he searches up, which is Omniscience. Yes, that's right. And I come out with boring. I don't know. It's not that boring, I guess, but it was certainly not something you want to see on like the 5th or 6th turn of the game. The first card he plays is Bloodgift Demon. The next card he plays is Kessig Cage Breakers. He's actually got, I think, 1 or 2 creatures in the deck. And then he plays Primal Surge, and that's an uh-oh card. Luckily for us, he doesn't really surge out a ton. He does get Eldrazi Conscription, which he puts on the Bloodgift Demon. A land, a Wolfear Silverheart, which we talked about in our past game. And he's going to bond that with the Cage Breakers, another land. And you may notice that Liliana's gone. That's because he actually brought into play Liliana of the Dark Veil, and they legend ruled each other out. I don't remember what the last card he hit was, but that's it. Oh wait, here we are. Dungeon Geists, Liliana of the Veil. These guys don't. Oh no, those guys are come out due to mulch. That's right, because he hit mulch with Primal Surge, and that's why it stopped. And those guys go into his graveyard. Victim of Night kills off the demon, and Shriekmaw kills off the Silverheart. So luckily, Una came prepared and took out a bunch of the threats. I go ahead and cast Loaming Shaman to get rid of all the creatures in his graveyard, so Cage Breakers can't make a ton of tokens, and then play Skull Clamp. Child of Lara is doing nothing, just kind of sitting back, building up mana. Has a wall out there, and so this should be kind of a clue that maybe something's going on there. But right now, everybody's kind of focused on Damia for having Omniscience out there. Damia plays something big. Oh, the Commander and Fairy Conclave, which attacks nobody. Voidstalker, awesome. And I figure, okay, dang it. Voidstalker is going to take out Damia, right? Just makes sense. I cast Harmonize, play a land, equip my Shaman with Skull Clamp. I figure I'm going to attack somebody, but I decide not to. Again, another counter on Molten Slag Heap. It's got 4 counters already. He Worldly Tutors for Wall of Denial. He's setting up for defense. He wants to sit back and wait for the long game. That's kind of curious. Again, not so worried. Damia attacks Una and pays the propaganda tax. There's no creatures in the graveyard, so, and obviously whatever's in his, oh, he has like all land or something in his hand, so he can't really play much off of the Omniscience, I guess. So Una busts out Sword of Feast and Famine, and she's gonna attack Damia, and then kind of surprise me with the following play. Instead of Voidstalkering Damia, he confiscates it to help out with the land draw. I put Forest under the Mosswort Bridge because a lot of times, and I had the shot of putting Primeval Titan under it. A lot of times, Mosswort Bridge is kind of like a magnet for land destruction, and I just don't want to lose the Titan to something like that. Like, the stuff that I put under the Hideaway lands is like my medium level stuff, not my big hitter stuff. But I am able to play Yavimaya Elder so that I can keep up with land issues. I don't really have any mana to attack Una, and the 2 guys that I do have back here aren't huge or anything like that, so I think I attack Damia because, again, Omniscience. Child plays another land. Does nothing. Shriekmaw from Damia, taking out the Voidstalker, which is actually a good play. Draws 3 cards off of Damia. Bajuka Bog somebody. Wasn't me. Doesn't matter. And Phyrexian Totem. Solemn Simulacrum. Then she goes to attack the Damia player, but Damia uses... Oh, no, she doesn't. Never mind. I sacrifice my Yavimaya Elder to get a bunch of land, and of course, draw Mirari's Wake and Drifting Meadow. I play Chameleon Colossus. I attack Damia again. I put Skull Clamp on my Colossus, and I discard like a land or something, I think. Yeah, I discard the Forest. Because I want to cycle the Drifting Meadow. Again, Child of Lara does nothing. Mimic that. There's a ton of stuff out here at this point. I get hit by Shriekmaw, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe, you know, the child can come out and like blow stuff up, because this board state's getting kind of crazy. And yeah, I'm not 100% sure how we're going to get out of this, especially after Una plays Wormcoil Engine and then Phyrexian Metamorph copying the Wall of Denial, and then goes to attack Damia blocks with Fairy Conclave, so Una can't untap. The funny thing is that the Fairy Conclave goes under the Mimic Vat, which is interesting. And then I cycled Drifting Meadows and get another forest. Right now I'm just kind of, Child Memory plunders my Harmonize to draw some card. I'm just kind of like hanging out. So I was gonna, the child player is kind of like freaking me out a little bit by not doing anything. If he blocked with Wall of Denial, I was gonna pump my Colossus to try and take it out. But he just blocks with Wall of Omen, so there's no reason to pump. I'm hesitant to play Mirari's Wake because I know the Child of Alara could come out and just wipe it out. So, and then what the Damia player is doing is making the Fairy token, and to see if it just comes into play tapped like it's supposed to or not, and it does. So, this is just him trying to like figure out what'll happen. Yeah, see, there it is. It's tapped. And I equip my Shaman with Skull Clamp. He puts another land on there, or a token on the land. This is where things get crazy. So Carpet of Flowers is going to give Child a bunch of extra mana. Out comes Child. And then Razia's Purification. Kabow! This is a reset button. And Child player is going to pick 3 of his lands. The Child itself, he likes to let it go to the command zone, but it still blows up everything. And the Damia player forgets about Child itself and leaves Omniscience out there just in case. Doesn't matter. I keep 3 lands, but I get to draw a couple cards off of my Skull Clamped Shaman. But he's basically beating us mana-wise because he's got 5 counters on the Molten Slag Heap. These worm tokens are going to leave because the Child blows them up. Again, I'm not sure if that's a bug or not. And he had another land in hand. Damia plays Skull Clamp. So we're all kind of like starting over, right? You know, okay, it's not horrible. I've got like a couple lands in hand, and I've got Sakura Tribe Elder, and Una plays Fog Bank, a nice defensive creature. I play my Hideaway land, and I stick Ranger of Eos under it. I play Sakura Tribe Elder because I'm planning to ramp out, and I discard like a Plains or something. Child Enlightened Tutors for Lightning Greaves and plays it. And then out comes Hellcarver Demon. Holy cow. Okay, so this is the crazy play here. Child's deck revolves around Hellcarver Demon, which makes sense because, you know, he played with Razia's Purification. He's going to want like any sort of balance effect he can get, especially because whenever the demon hits, he has to destroy all his other permanents. Yeah. But hopefully, like, he hits like big fat cards that really hurt people. So let's see his stack because he hits Damia. I give him props for playing the card, but once we see what happens, this first one isn't too bad. Okay, here it is. Crib Swap. He's got a land, Putrefied, Nova Blastworm, which is big, Bringer of the Black Dawn, which will help him, and Tutor, which will help him. But it's not exactly what he wants because everybody else still has the land that they had in play, so we can all do something if we really want to. I have no idea what he tutors for, but he's got a couple of big fat creatures out there now. Damia does nothing. Una plays Bone Shredder, getting rid of Nova Blastworm, which is obviously the play to do right there. I sacrifice my Elder for a forest, and I Enlighten Tutor for something. What was it? Oh, Survival. That makes sense, right? But because Hellcarver Demon's tapped, and I don't want to deal with him like getting free spells again. I play my Sunblast Angel and get rid of it. So yay! No more Hellcarver Demon. But he does have Bringer of the Black Dawn, which will help him out. I go ahead and take the hit from the Bringer because it's only fair. Damia's doing nothing again. Una lets Bone Shredder go and then plays Phyrexian Arena so that she can draw. Get another land. This is a great like recovery for me because I can like start doing stuff. Sword of Light and Shadow. Blow! And then I can go ahead and get my Sakura Tribe Elder back and gain some life. The Sunblast Angel is big now. There's the Elder. I want another forest so I can start survivaling the crap out of things. The Bringer ends up helping him out. He plays Command Tower, then Reanimate, bringing Hellcarver Demon back. And if these guys can't put up a defense, I've got my Sunblast Angel, then he's going to start doing more crazy shenanigans with the Hellcarver Demon. Somberwald Sage, not helpful. He clamps the Sage, draws 2 cards, and doesn't get anything else. Phyrexian Arena for Una. Divination to draw 2 cards. Brittle Effigy, which would be awesome with Hellcarver Demon to get rid of it. But he can't pop it right now. So I play Wood Elves to get another land out. And Survival. Oh, no, wait. I hold back because I don't want to get hit. Now I play Survival. So he gets Noxious Revival. I don't even remember what he gets, but it doesn't matter. We get hit again by Hellcarver Demon. Okay, so his stack is really the big card in his stack. I press stop. Stop, dang you, stop! Is Balancing Act. And because he only has 2 permanents, everybody else gets knocked down to 2 permanents. I keep my Sunblast Angel and my sword. The other 2 guys concede. And essentially what he says is, stop, stop. There, God, wow. What the child player says is, you know, all his removal is either black or white. So he can't really do anything about the Sunblast Angel. And I'm like, well, you know, I don't feel like sitting around waiting for my mana to accrue, especially because if he's playing Balancing Act type cards, he can just eventually balance away my creatures and stuff like that. I could Noxious Revival for a land like Savannah or something and then hope to draw into some more land so that I can do something about the demon. But essentially, like, I give him this game. You know, and I basically concede after this. I mean, it's an awesome deck. I mean, just the crazy stuff that he has. You know, yeah, here you go. See, he curfews. So the curfew was going to come up anyways soon to get rid of my Sunblast Angel. But like some of this other stuff, he's got Insidious Dreams. He's got a bunch of land. But curfew was all he really needed to do. Oh, and then Second Sunrise, which didn't really do much for him at this point, but it's an interesting deck. I thought it was cool. If I really wanted to, I could have sat back on my Sunblast Angel and waited, but I decided not to. But again, curfew would have dealt with my Sunblast Angel. And so that's where we're at. It was an interesting game. I liked that game. It was a little crazy and stuff like that. But anyways, you can kind of see where the deck was going. Like, I had a decent amount of mana out, and if it weren't for like the Balancing Act type cards, I would have been able to start survivaling for stuff and getting stuff out of my graveyard and going from there. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the game. Hope you enjoyed the deck. Until next time. I'm not doing anything next week. Sorry, I'm going to be in Hawaii all week. But I will be working on my newest deck soon. Alright, thanks guys.